Well, hello. This is the video for November 2nd, 2016, entitled, When Our Identity Gets Stolen. Forget what happened to us in previous generations. In the past 100 years, our identity was stolen. We grew up thinking we were human beings. Wrong. We were property of a class of thieves who used a grand deception to rob us, not only of our wealth, but of our humanity as well. Even though there are many who say it's meaningless, it was written, all men were created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Even though it does not seem true in practice, I am convinced this is absolutely true. Most importantly, we have the right to be free, no matter who we are or where we live. We are free to speak our mind, free to think for ourselves, and free to determine our own path. The only limitation, as I keep saying, is that we are not to impinge on nor usurp the freedom of another. If all humans would simply abide by this, we would create a much better world. Earlier today, I went with my friend Denise to watch a movie called Inferno, in which a mad, crazy individual and his girlfriend, significant other, whatever, had made this plan to release this, I don't know, virus, these bugs, germs, whatever, on civilization, and it was expected to kill half or more than half of the world's population. And they were going to infect the whole world with this thing. And that's loss of everything. I mean, just kill this mass of people because the world was overpopulated. And it started out with this guy that dreamed up this plan of giving a lecture of how rapidly the world's population has grown. And it's out of hand. And we've got to get rid of the majority of people. So it's, in other words, it's the idea of the Illuminati, of the elite establishment, that says the world is too big, we've got to bring it back, bring the population down and kill the majority of people on the planet. This is an old theme, it's not a new theme, but this is the story of this Inferno movie based on the book by a very, very good writer. I forgot his name though, right at the top of my head right now. But I've read a number of his books in the past, and no, I'm not. I can't think of them right now. I should have written it down, shouldn't I? Anyway, I didn't. But our identity, folks, has been stolen. When you see your name in all capital letters, it's not you. And it doesn't even have to all be in capital letters, because the establishment treats us as if we are just corporations, which is a legal fiction. And this is the thing that drives all of the crime in the world, all of the phony taxation, all of the wars, all of the madness, the insanity of our world has resulted because these madmen, demons, whatever class you want to call them, deprived us of knowing who we are. There is an old saying that says, know thyself, to thine own self be true. But we don't know ourselves if we think we're a corporate entity, if we think we are just part of a system and we don't have an individuality that and the capabilities within that individuality of thinking for ourselves, of determining our own outcome. And again, I'll keep adding this. There's only one law, only one rule. It's do unto others as you would have others do unto you, and don't do to others what you wouldn't want them to do to you. But the ones that break that rule are, again, the people that want to control everything, the people that think the world is overcrowded, and think that they have the right to play God because for some reason the actual creator, the actual God, if there is one, and I've always believed there was, doesn't actually play a role in curbing the insanity of humanity. And humanity has been limited in our ability to know ourselves. Again, it boils down to identity. It's an issue of knowing who we are. If we don't know who we are, if we're confused about that, if we think that all we are is a name, and if we think that our life is just this point in time, this period in time, we've missed a big part of who we are, that we are not infinite beings, that we're born when we're born and we die when we die, and that's it. But that's not, I don't believe that's true. If that is true, it's insane. And if we don't discover who we are, it's even more insane, because we lived for what? To take another trip around the whatever creates the year, another trip of the earth around the sun. No, there has to be more than that. We have to remember who we are. We have to have an identity that is bigger than our lives, bigger than ourselves. And when we recognize that, that's who we really are, we hopefully will stop the nonsense and the insanity of fighting each other. There's enough to go around if only there was a fair distribution of that which we call wealth. And wealth is more than money. It's the ability to have good food. It's the ability to have good drinking water, and the things that are essential to life itself, that we each have an honest and fair distribution and ability to have those things at our command even. We shouldn't have to beg, borrow, and steal to get the things that we need to survive. But that's the kind of world that we end up creating when we forget who we are, or when that has been taken from us, that we aren't told who we are and how much power we have just in our inherent self. But there's a whole lot that's been missing, and a whole lot of codons apparently that have been turned off. And that's been my thing for a long time. Turn the codons back on. Let us have our identity back, because we'll never become what we can be without knowing who we are, and the world will always be in turmoil and destroying itself again and again and again if we don't come back to the knowledge of who we actually are. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this has created some ability to think about things and see maybe that we might not have the whole picture as far as what we're told by the establishment and the leaders of our culture, so falsely so-called leaders. Thank you for listening, and namaste.